If you walked into the Tampines Round Market kopitiam this morning, the aunties and uncles were not talking about the price of fish. They were talking about the Straits Times Index. The screens were flashing green, retail volume was surging, the copy was hot, and everyone felt like a genius. Here's the thing about genius. It is easy to feel smart on a day when the index goes up. The harder question is what happens when the music stops. Today, we are not celebrating. We are auditing. Our Iggy's elite investors already know this. But while the broader market is chasing a psychological number on the scoreboard, we are inside the engine room reading the balance sheets, flagging the debt walls, and stress testing the cash flows that will determine who actually survives this rally. That is what your membership is for. Welcome to the pit. I'm Iggy, your guide through the Singapore market jungle, where more than 6,000 of us run the forensic numbers before mainstream media catches on. In this market, the entry window on a sanctuary stock doesn't stay open long. By the time the free version drops, the setup has already played out and the price has already moved. Iggy's elite investors get zero-day access to every forensic breakdown the moment it's finalized. Full 5-layer audit, hard numbers, no corporate hype. All in for 9 Singapore dollars a month, less than a Ya-Kun set. Act on the analysis when it still matters. Now let's get into today's numbers. The Straits Times Index closed today at 5,002.17, a 1.3% jump. Total market volume hit approximately 2,200 million Singapore dollars, which is meaningfully above our 30-day average of 2,140 million Singapore dollars. Regional markets followed the same script, with the Hang Seng up 0.61%, the SET up 0.49%, and the JCI up 1.20%. Property cyclicals like UOL led the charge, and all three local banks closed higher. The prevailing narrative is that oil prices have stabilized and investors are rotating back into rate-sensitive names. And to be fair, they are not entirely wrong. The macro setup is less hostile than it was 6 months ago. But here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody in the kopitiam wants to say out loud. Crossing 5,000 points does not magically repair a leveraged balance sheet. The Straits Times Index at the 5,000-point milestone is a psychological milestone, not a forensic one. For this audit, I am applying a stress test buffer. I am using a conservative floor of 3.2% as our risk-free benchmark. While the current spot rate for 6-month T-bills is approximately 1.36%, we need to test the thesis against a higher hurdle. If the math holds at 3.2%, the margin of safety at current levels is a fortress. We audit for the storm, not just the sunny day. Any asset must yield at least 150 basis points above that floor to justify the execution risk. Engineered yields do not count. Let us look at Keppel Limited. They just posted a full year 2025 net profit of approximately 1,100 million Singapore dollars from continuing operations. That is a 39% increase year on year. Return on equity stands at an impressive 18.7%. On the surface, this looks like exactly the kind of name a dividend investor wants to own. But there is a shadow on the balance sheet that the market is currently treating as wallpaper. A 2,280 billion rupiah land claim, which is roughly 186,300,000 Singapore dollars, is sitting in an Indonesian court. Keppel subsidiary filed an appeal after a Jakarta court dismissed the claim. Management says they do not expect a material impact, but let us run the forensic lens over that. The raw exposure is 186,300,000 Singapore dollars. Keppel's group net gearing sits at 0.82 times as of the end of financial year 2025. That is operating with a heavy structural debt load compared to our gearing ceiling of strictly below 0.35 times. If the legal outcome shifts even 10% against Keppel, that chunk becomes a very real drag against their 611 million Singapore dollar free cash inflow. The buffer is thinner than the headline profit suggests. Then we have Wingt Holdings. They just agreed to acquire an 11,092 square meter freehold land parcel near Mont Kiara in Kuala Lumpur for 45 million ringgit, which is approximately 14,700,000 Singapore dollars. The plan is a new residential development. Strategically, the press release reads well, but we need to look at the engine room. For the financial year 2025, Wingt recorded revenue of 230,200,000 Singapore dollars and posted a net loss of 61 million Singapore dollars. Their net asset value per share had slipped from $3.90 to $3.73 before recovering to $3.91 by December. The stock currently trades at roughly 0.4 times book value. Most stable developers trade at 0.6 to 0.7 times. That discount is the market telling you something important about its confidence. The net gearing has improved to 0.14 times, which is a positive, but the core question is whether this business can generate consistent, profitable organic growth. Right now, the answer is no. If ASEAN residential demand softens by even 10%, this new project becomes dead weight on a balance sheet that is still in recovery mode. Finally, let us look at COSCO, Shipping International. Construction on Phase 2 of the Jurong Island Logistics Hub is continuing. This adds roughly 2.5 hectares and 62,500 square meters of built-up area, effectively doubling their capacity. To fund this, COSCO raised approximately 272 million Singapore dollars through a rights issue in 2025. On the revenue line, the full year looks decent at 194 million Singapore dollars, up 12% year on year. Net profit jumped 45% to 7,900,000 Singapore dollars. Now let us walk through that math slowly. A 45% profit jump sounds great until you realize it is only 7,900,000 Singapore dollars on 194 million Singapore dollars in revenue. That is a net profit margin of roughly 4%. They raised 272 million Singapore dollars from shareholders to build a single specialized industrial asset that currently operates on a 4% margin. There is no buffer. A 10% construction cost overrun would wipe out the entire annual profit. The institutional desks are bullish this morning because the index pushed past 5,000. But think about what analysts are actually incentivized to do. They generate trading volume. Upgrades create activity, and activity generates commission. Historically, analysts upgrade cyclicals at the exact moment retail investors are most susceptible to FOMO. This is precisely when the crowd piles in and precisely when the institutions are quietly reassessing their own exposure. A 10% shift in inflation data could stall the anticipated rate cuts entirely. The highly geared property developers that just got upgraded would be the first to feel that pressure. For a CPF investor chasing this narrative, you are absorbing institutional risk on a retail budget. For my own portfolio construction, I track these metrics as a watch signal. This is a personal forensic boundary, not a recommendation. None of these names currently clear our threshold of yielding at least 150 basis points above the 3.2% forensic floor through genuine organic cash flow. Keppel is carrying a 186 million Singapore dollar legal anchor while managing 0.82 times gearing. Wingt is deploying capital into Malaysia just months after a 61 million Singapore dollar net loss. COSCO is surviving on a 4% net margin while building out a massive concrete project. The most dangerous moment in any market cycle is when the index crosses a psychological line and everyone in the kopitiam suddenly becomes an expert. That is exactly when the forensic investor tightens the grip, not loosens it. You do not trade a fortress balance sheet for a leveraged construction site because a chart crossed a round number. The aunties and uncles who were celebrating this morning, let them celebrate. We will revisit this in 6 months when the construction cost overruns and the legal filings are front page news. Stay forensic, stay skeptical. The math does not care about round numbers. This content is produced for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I am a retail investor who applies forensic analysis to my own portfolio and shares that process publicly. Nothing here constitutes a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security, and no specific target prices or personalized financial advice are offered. All data is sourced from public filings and verified sources. Where data is unverified, it is explicitly flagged. All investments carry risk, including the potential loss of principal, and past performance is not indicative of future results. If you are making investment decisions involving CPF, SRS, or personal capital, please conduct your own due diligence or consult a MAS licensed financial advisor before committing funds.